Block party turning up the volume. Miller on the slide. Game, set, match.
Spectacular crowd inside Mackey Arena. Purdue builds a huge lead.
The hammer! Purdue is going to beat Tennessee here at the Broadway block party.
It is down. History for Dave Shondell. The all-time wins leader at Purdue.
Welcome back to the Dig City Podcast. Cory Palm alongside head coach Dave Shondell as we come to you at the tail end of non-conference season. We should mention off the top here, we're brought to you by Franciscan Health, the official medical provider of Purdue Athletics and a great supporter for several years now of the Dig City Podcast. Tail end of non-conference season, your Boilermakers come out 9-1. I cannot imagine if I'd have told you that back on August 1st, you'd be too displeased. So how do you feel right now sitting at 9-1?
Pretty excited that our players played well enough to get us to 9-1 because that's pretty good. Our schedule right now looks like it was in the top 30 non-conference schedules in the country. I think it will get better as time goes on because as I looked at the predictions on the Massey ratings for these teams that we played, they're all supposed to do really well in conference play. There's a couple that might be around 500, but after that, there's teams that are supposed to maybe win every match in conference play or win all but two in conference play. So I think that when you go 9-1, that's great. And when they're already doing very well record-wise, but to look down the road and see that they're going to continue to win will only help the RPI factor, which is kind of the driving force that the NCAA tournament uses to determine teams for the field NCAA tournament-wise.
It is. I know, like you said, in the Massey rating currently this week, the Boilermakers sitting in eighth spot according to those rankings, which are updated weekly. The coaches poll came out on Monday afternoon, and you guys moved up a spot to 10th. It's not just that the schedule was very good, and like you said, we think will get stronger as the season unfolds. Plus, you're paying Big Ten teams, which is going to make it, stronger as well. Yeah. It's that you performed really well. You got those wins against teams that are doing exceedingly well this season.
Yeah, we had some really big wins. The SMU win, there's a team that's RPI is maybe 7 or 8 in the country. You've got wins over Tennessee, who's going to win a bunch of matches down the road. The win over, who am I forgetting there, the top 10 team?
The Kansas win.
Kansas in the Big 12 is going to win their fair share. The loss to Georgia Tech is the one that sticks out a little bit, and we'll see how they do. They've been a little high air so far this season, but they also scheduled ridiculously tough. South Florida had the fourth toughest schedule in the country, but they're the team that's going to win a lot of them down the road. So anyway, I'm just pleased. A team played really, really well for a team that was just coming together, had all these new players, and unheralded and disrespected from that standpoint as well. For us to go out and really play together and work hard during training time to pull out a 9-1 record is good. But it really doesn't mean it does mean something. It means that your RPI is in a good position.
Sure.
And you've got 9 wins because when you plan this schedule out, this team could go 500 in Big Ten play if things go a certain way. All right. We could also maybe go 800 in Big Ten play, or we could even, who knows what you might do. My point is this, is that every match we play this year in Big Ten play is going to be an absolute brouhaha, a Donnybrook, a slugfest. Let's throw them all out there, okay? Because that's what it's going to be, and that's what I've told our team from the very beginning, Cory, is that we're going to be in one battle after another, and the teams in the Big Ten that can maintain their toughness and their focus and their confidence and their belief and train hard every day and get better, they're the ones that are going to have a chance to make this NCAA tournament at the end of the season. And as we've talked about for years, when you get in the NCAA tournament and you're a Big Ten team, history indicates you can go a long way in the NCAA tournament. So that's kind of what we're shooting for.
For sure. Battle-tested is what Big Ten teams typically are when it comes to the postseason. and you will get into Big Ten play this week.
Yep.
With a couple matches in Mackey, with Washington coming to town on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then Illinois on Sunday afternoon. Really important matches throughout the course of the season. Really important for a lot of reasons internally and externally for fans to come out and support this team in Mackey. And really, we're giving up the home court advantage inside Holloway Gymnasium, which is significant, and hoping to recreate something bigger in Mackey.
Which we have done in the past, and we did a world-class job of it last year when we sold out Mackey Arena for matches with Indiana and Wisconsin. And now this week on a Thursday, we have Washington, who is a team that has won a national championship, that traditionally is an NCAA tournament team. And we get them at home on Thursday night. And I know we'll be prepared for them to play, but they'll be big and physical and so forth. But our fans need to recognize the value in the sport of volleyball. Passionate, loud, vocal fans make a huge difference in a volleyball match. It's no different than basketball. You think it's tough to come in and play Matt Painter's team in Mackey Arena? It is. Ask any coach in the Big Ten, ask any player in the Big Ten what it's like. We have to have that kind of environment in here. Otherwise, we're wasting our time by going into Mackey, okay? Last year, it wasn't a waste of time. It was worth it. Our fans showed up. They were loyal. They were loud. They gave us everything that we could ask for. And now we're just hoping that with this team that nobody gave a lot of credit to start the season, okay? But yet they've proven that they're worthy of, I think, Purdue coming out and giving them whatever they can as we get ready to start this Big Ten season.
This team's a lot of fun to watch, no doubt. You've got contribution coming from across the lineup. It's not one player dominating necessarily. It's several stepping up.
We're going to have to be, and that balance is going to have to continue. We've been working really, really hard to get our middles involved in the game. Now, our best middle didn't play this past weekend. Newsflash for those of you that weren't tuned in. But Lindsay Miller did not play last weekend. Now, she's a day-to-day situation for us, and we're hoping that we could have her for matches this week, but we might not. So we're going to lean heavily right back on Dior Charles, who's hitting about 400 on the season, and a young woman that played the last two matches were the first two she's ever played for Purdue. And so, Bianca Lulich was really good, I thought, for not playing ever in a Purdue uniform. And I think in the match against IU Indy, she started slow, but I think she had kills on 8 of her last 9 swings for the Boilermakers. And I think that kind of confidence building is really, really important for a young sophomore.
It was pretty awesome seeing her come to life there in the second and third sets against the Jaguars for sure. And
it was badly needed.
For sure.
And let's just talk briefly about IU Indy, which is not a name that people often think about as a powerhouse in the sport of volleyball. But wow, did they come into our gym and Holloway Gym ready to play. And they punched us right in the nose in that first set. And, I mean, we were in a position up 23-22, and then we decided to give 3 points in a row, service error, 2 passing errors, and it's over. That's how quick it can happen. And but they deserved to win.
They did.
They won that first set. And then we settled down a little bit to win a relatively close second set. And then I thought after the break we made a couple of adjustments with our lineup and things got a little bit better. And, we won 3-1. But IU Indy has some explosive players with fast arms and a little setter, only about 5'6.5", that can sling the ball all over the ballpark. And so they're fun to watch. I think they're going to have a lot of success. And then, of course, we were at Ball State a couple days prior to that, went back to Muncie and swept a really good Ball State team.
Yeah, a Cardinal team that is expected to make a lot of noise in the MAC this year, compete for that title. So never a small thing to go up to Muncie and get a win.
Well, not many people will sweep Ball State in Worthen Arena. It doesn't happen very often. And we go in there feeling, at least the head coach, feeling a lot of pressure.
Sure.
You go back to your alma mater and you're playing in Muncie, and they had a record crowd, by the way, for that match. And a lot of that was because the Boilermaker faithful showed up alongside the red and white, the Cardinal and white. And it was fun. I got a chance to see a lot of people I hadn't seen for a while, and and then have our team go out and play a really solid match was great. Grace Heaney's playing well for us.
She is.
Kenna Woolard's playing really, really well for us. Our ball control is really, really good. It's funny, when I look at the stats, our passing numbers don't look as good as they feel. There's a group called Volleymetrics, is this group that does a lot of the statting for all teams. It's a server that we have. I think they do it by artificial intelligence somehow, if you can imagine that technology. Yeah. Okay, that's how they determine how well teams are passing. And they're a little bit different sometimes than I guess the bias stat keeping that we do. But our passing has been really, really good. As I was walking over here, I was thinking about our practice tonight and what we needed to work on. But both Ryan McAleer and Julia Kane are passing close to about a 2.5, which is high-level passing. Kenna Woolard's numbers aren't in that ballpark, but at the end of the season, I think she's going to be one of the best passers we've had, because she fits every bill that you're looking for when you want to develop a passer. She's got a great platform. She's got great feet. She's got good feel for the ball. She's got quickness to get to the ball. And she's kind of a perfectionist, which I think as she gets more confidence, that helps her. When you're a perfectionist and you're not great at what you do, that can apply a little bit of extra pressure on yourself. But look for Kenna Woolard to really elevate her passing, and you need your left sides to step in and pass part of the court. The other people can pass a good part of it. But I think our passing is going to continue to rise as we move through this season.
It's interesting to hear those values that she has that with your experience as a coach, you can recognize that is going to come together and soon develop into something that's very high level.
Well, she hasn't been in the passing pattern until this year.
Yeah, first time
as a
playing.
right side player, you hide those people, you get them to where they can hit. She wasn't playing in the back row. Now she doesn't leave the floor. And which again is an added pressure all to begin with. She's not getting that break to get out of the game for a little bit and kind of recover both physically and emotionally from what has transpired. So now she's out there all the time, but she seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah,
I think.
No doubt about that. And I know, talking a little bit about Kenna, her career here to this point, coming into this season, probably hadn't gone exactly how she envisioned, just the way things worked out. To see her really grab this opportunity by the throat this season has been
what
awesome.
doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, and so she dealt with some adversity. Just from the standpoint, I wouldn't call it adversity. I'd just say that other players stepped in and were playing the spot that she kind of thought was going to be her position, the outside hitting position. So she went to the other pin on the right side, which is only, I think, made her better, to be honest. I think that's helped her to become really, really good at what she's doing now, making those kind of adjustments on a team. But right now she's back where she is very, very comfortable, and yet still has so much to learn, because she's only played that spot in the big, in our conference for 10 matches now.
Yeah.
So I think you'll continue to see her develop.
That's awesome. One quick note about the IU Indy match statistically. You mentioned, I want to ask you this before we get too far away from it. You mentioned you made some adjustments during the break after two, back and forth sets. And in sets 3 and 4, the attack was much better. Just one hitting error in each of those two sets. Is that attributable to an adjustment that you don't have to go into detail about?
No,
or
it's
is it
okay.
something else?
We rotated our lineup a couple of spots.
Okay.
This is a team, fortunately, that in volleyball you got 6 different rotations you could start in, and then you rotate after every time you receive the serve back. And there are teams that coaches have, and certainly in our situation, where we wanted to start in a certain spot. Maybe it's because your setter's only 5'9", and you don't want them in the front row the first 3 rotations. Okay, it's kind of like a batting order in baseball. The more often you start, as your leadoff hitter is going to get more at-bats than anybody else all year long. Yep. Okay, maybe in that one game they won't get that many more at-bats. They might just get one more at-bat. But during the season, that's a lot more at-bats
Sure.
that your 1, 2, and 3 hitters are going to have. So if you can put your top hitters in the front row, they're going to be up there a lot more often during the course of a match and during the course of a season. And then your people that maybe not be as good of a blocker you start them in the back row as often as you can. We don't have big discrepancies right now. We don't have, our setter's 6'1".
Yep.
Our right side player is 6'2", 6'2.5". Our left sides are 6'1" and 6'3". Our middles are all capable. So we can kind of move it around a little bit and start how we want to start to match up. Mm-hmm. We might have some preferences, which is why we kind of start the way we do is a lot. But we flip-flopped it because I didn't like the way we were blocking. And sometimes it's just how does your player match up with their player. Mm-hmm. Maybe the way they block is not effective against this player. So let's get I wanted to get Cash Anderson on their left-hander who was putting on a clinic against us, okay? I didn't know if it was going to work. Mm-hmm. I just knew that Cash and Kenna block differently. They're both capable of blocking balls, but they block differently. And so we wanted to make that change, and we were also getting hurt by their left sides, and I thought, well, now we'll have our right side block will be on their different people twice as opposed to where they were before.
Right.
I think defensively it helped, but they're also then looking at different people. So when Grace is going up to hit, instead of who she was hitting against before, mm-hmm. now 2 out of 3 times she's hitting up against somebody else. I hope that doesn't complicate things.
No, not at all. That's fascinating. I love going a little bit deep on that.
But it did work. It was an effective tool, and it's one that we won't hesitate to make adjustments. Where on many teams, probably most of the teams that I've coached in the past, I've been very hesitant to start anywhere else because then you also get this comfort zone. When you start the same way every time, people expect that. Athletes do get comfortable,
yep.
and then you start somewhere else, and they kind of lose their mind. I don't want them to be in that. I want them to know we can start anywhere we want to, be ready for it, and we do it in practice all the time, and now we're doing it in matches.
It's great to have a lineup that is that flexible, that is that open to different.
It's helpful.
Different approaches for sure. Like I said, the Boilermakers, really turned it on. Hit 500 in set 3 and 419 in set 4 against IU Indy to take that one in front of a good crowd on a Sunday afternoon.
Sellout crowd, but not everybody was there.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And again, Sunday afternoon matinee start.
Tough.
I guess it was tough. I reached out to our block party. I'll reach out to them again before Thursday's match to let them know their value. I mean, they're huge. Our student section is the best student section in America. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they have to continue to be that way. We're I know they're counting on us to show up. We're counting on them to show up. That's how valuable they are to us.
For sure, those things can't stand on reputation forever. At some point, it has to be re-earned.
Well, this group has got great leadership.
Yes.
This student section has got tremendous leadership. Sometimes you just get caught with your pants down, and you got to recover. And I know that when we go into Mackey Arena, they'll be loud and they'll be proud. We're
going to talk more about Washington and Illinois specifically, and kind of a weird road ahead to start off Big Ten play for the Boilermakers right after the break.
The Dig City podcast is brought to you by Franciscan Health, the exclusive healthcare provider for Purdue athletics. Franciscan, inspiring health, working for a better tomorrow. Go to franciscanhealth.org for more information. Now, back to the show.
The Boilermakers get started with Big Ten play this week. The Washington Huskies and the Fighting Illini come to Mackey Arena for 2 very important matches. Coach, as we look at the Big Ten before we dial in on those 2 opponents, how is the conference doing as we head into conference play overall?
I think overall we're doing fine. I think this year there's 3 conferences that are all really, really good, and the 4th isn't bad before you get into your mid-majors. But I think that the SEC has some powerhouses. I think that the ACC certainly does. They've made the biggest jump over the last couple of years, and the Big Ten. I think all 3 of those could say right now they're the best conference in the country if you want to try to split hairs somehow. But I think they're all pretty even at this point. Nebraska is the Goliath right now in the country, in my opinion. Texas is nipping at their heels, but I think Nebraska, certainly in our league, is a team to beat. Wisconsin has kind of steadied their ship out. They're getting some really good play from their pin hitters. The transfer, Collier, that came in from Oregon, has made a huge difference. I don't know where they would be without her. okay, because she's making that kind of a difference. She is playing as strong of a game right now as anybody in the country. So I kind of put Wisconsin probably in that 2 spot. You've got Minnesota, Penn State. I'm going to leave ourselves out of the conversation for right now, but Minnesota, Penn State, USC, UCLA, Indiana, I think Illinois, Washington, Oregon. There's just a lot of good teams. Right now, everybody can feel pretty good about where they are. I think Ohio State would be maybe the outlier there. Ohio State has had a great volleyball program for many, many years. They've lost players in the last few years that has really disrupted, I think, their development as a program. But I also know that they've got enough talent because there's players on their team that we recruited to come to Purdue and didn't get. So I know there's plenty of talent over there. But I think the league is really, really good. What I just continue to reiterate is that on any given night, and this is what I told our team the other day in our locker room, actually before the match with IU Indy, I was talking about our team and the fact that before the season started, I thought there would be some teams that we would have a really difficult time matching up with.
Right.
I really did. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like there's going to be matchup issues. I think that we've proven that we can physically match up, that from a skill standpoint, we can ball control, we've got the arms, we've got one of the better setters in the Big Ten Conference. So some of those nightmares have gone away because of how well this team has come together and how well this team is playing. So I think there's a little more balance. I mean, I think you've got Nebraska up here, and then you've got about 10 teams that all think they can make the NCAA tournament. And then you might have 3 or 4 that aren't too sure right now based on what's happened so far. But I think that middle 10 or 11 teams after Nebraska, and again, I'm not saying we're not going to go up or when Nebraska comes here, we're not going to be ready to play and compete, because we will be. And they know that and we know that, okay? But I think those next 10, 11, you can put them in a bag and shake them up, and they'll come out a lot of different ways because I think there's that kind of balance in that group.
Yeah. 9 of the 18 teams in the league right now have 1 loss or less. There's 2 undefeated teams, Michigan State, Nebraska. And I know, different teams approach non-conference scheduling differently. So
they need to.
They do. And it's hard to make too many judgments based solely on record. But, when half your league has 1 loss or less, it's been a pretty good month.
Yeah.
I know 2 of the teams that are in that mix that would be in that bag are Illinois and Washington.
Yeah.
They're 2 teams that are right now sitting around 500 on the season. 5-5 are the Huskies. 5-4 are the Illini. What do you know about those 2 teams at this point?
What I know about non-conference play now is it's a lot different than it used to be. It used to be you knew what you had coming in to that season. Your players had been with you. You've been training them. You knew what the expectations were. Now, you're pulling people in from all these different teams, and you're using freshmen a lot more than maybe what you were before. So that's been a challenge. Illinois has got a lot of new players.
Yeah.
Washington's got some new players, but a lot of veteran players. They have a Serbian kid that's on the left side for them, which wasn't there a year ago. They got a freshman libero that wasn't there a year ago, may not have been there in the springtime. A different setter. Okay, so they've got a lot of new and moving pieces, just like we do. We were just fortunate. We were fortunate that we found a way to win some matches, and some of these other teams didn't. It could have been the other way around.
Sure, yeah.
But we still would have had the same team. And so I think it's this game is a game of mentality. It's a game of belief and confidence. Hopefully, by being 9-1, that helps us as we move forward. But these are 2 of those matches I keep talking about: Washington and Illinois, that will go down to the wire. Every set we play will be close. We're not going to go out and beat anybody 25-15,
right?
25-9, okay? Likely 4 or 5 set matches. And when I keep talking about the value of having a home court advantage, you have to have the home court advantage, because when we go the next week to USC and UCLA, we're not going to have a home court advantage out there. They are. And if they're doing their job, they're going to have their places packed. So I think that, if Purdue University, who cares so much about athletics and is working so hard with their fan base let's get out and make Mackey Arena something special on Thursday and Sunday when football, I believe football is idle this weekend. Yep. Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing, Purdue? Let's get out. I mean, right now we got about 7,000 tickets sold for both those matches.
Okay.
A year ago, okay, we sold out those matches in 2 days, 14,800 seats. Okay, now we're selling half those tickets for a team that has just played their tails off, okay, to represent this university. So I hope that we can do something about it.
I hope so too. Thursday night is the Boiler Kids Club match, the first Boiler Kids Club
Let's
match
get a lot of kids here, I
season.
guess, Jim, but let's get a lot of big kids and small kids and all kinds of kids.
There's fun promotions going on. The match starts at 6:30 Thursday against the Huskies. Big Ten Network's coming in to
Yes,
broadcast it. Both of these matches this week, in fact. But we want them to be able to broadcast a packed house both days. So get out there. There's good tickets still available at PurdueSports.com for sure. Get them now. What are you waiting on?
Yeah.
Go get those tickets now.
What was the address? Purdue Sports?
PurdueSports.com
Okay.
or the Purdue Sports app. Absolutely. And then you already mentioned it. The next three after Sunday are on the road. You go to the West Coast for UCLA and USC, and then you fly back and head to Columbus for a game against the Buckeyes before we see you again. It's going to be a couple weeks before the Boilermakers have a chance to see this squad in person again.
Yeah, it's we have some stretches we're on the road for a while, just the way that it is this year. But opportunity to get out and watch us play, and every match will be tough. And the Big Ten it's a treat to watch the kind of athletes. And Washington's got some big physical players. And certainly Illinois does. And our rivalry with Illinois has been fierce.
It's been great, yeah.
And it's one of the, during the time I've been here, I think Purdue and Illinois in those 22 seasons are about dead even, okay? About dead even. And usually teams win at home and they have a tough time on the road. So I hope that will continue this week. But that's a great rivalry. And, of course, Washington is new. It's the first time Washington, I think, has ever come in here and played. I can't remember Washington being in here.
I can't either. I'm going to go to the record book here.
They haven't played since I've been here. I think they may have come in for maybe that one year when the NCAA tournament had a Sweet 16 here. They might have been in that field. But I'm not sure. I know Penn State and Kentucky were here. I'm not sure they were even here. So it'll be a good opportunity to welcome the Huskies from Washington.
Definitely. Could you have imagined? I mean, it was very important that this first 6 weeks of the season, be informative. That the team develop the chemistry together and really figure out who does what well and how it can come together to be a cohesive whole instead of a bunch of parts. Has there ever been a more important month in your coaching career than maybe the last 4 weeks?
Maybe the first year that we got in here. We knew that if you don't get something done as a college coach now in the first year, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's how fast things move. And we're seeing that in football and basketball a lot more than what we're used to. Patience does not seem to be the virtue for administration and fans anymore. They think things should happen right now. So, but no, we certainly, from the minute things shook loose in December, and we started putting things back together in January, we knew the value of being a team, and training hard, learning about each other, developing this camaraderie and this cohesiveness, and you can map it out and you can hope for it. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen. It takes special people, and I think we've got some special characters on this team. And anybody that's been out to watch us play knows just how special these athletes are. We don't have Danielle Catino touching 10'10". We don't have Raven Colvin touching 10'9". We don't have 6'6" Sheridan Atkinson getting 35 kills, a match.
Right.
This is a team. This is a group that knows that they have to play super well together and have each other's back, and that's the strength of this team right now.
That's great to hear because that's what it needs to be going forward, no doubt. What are you working on in practice this week?
blocking.
Yeah.
Was disappointed with our blocking after we blocked really well the week before. That was a focus a week ago. We continued that focus. I'm trying to figure out if our blocking was suspect because the speed of the offense and the smaller, quicker players that we were playing against this past week. Not that we didn't block balls. I mean, we outblocked, I think, IU Indy 12-5, maybe. I don't have the numbers right here in front of me. It didn't feel like that. It felt like it was a catastrophe watching the match. So we're going to get back and spend a lot of time on that. We need to get other offensive aspects of our game back in order. We're not going to set Kenna Woolard 40 balls a night, 50 balls a night. That's not who we're going to be. We got to spread the wealth. Grace Heaney's been really, really good. Cash Anderson's game has developed way quicker than I thought.
And she looks confident.
And so we got to get her some more balls in some different ways. Our middles have to continue to demand the ball, for one thing. Okay, you'd be surprised if you demand the ball, you might get it. You can't just go out there and just, blow in the wind.
Yeah.
You've got to go out there and make some things happen. So we got to be a little bit more diversified, I think, with our offense, get everybody a little bit more piece of the pie. That's one of the things that we'll be working on, I think, as we move through this, 2 practices before we see Washington.
Yeah. Answer a couple of your questions. Our all-time record against Illinois is 45-48, so very even.
Yeah.
And we have played the Huskies 7 times, 1 time in West Lafayette back in 1988.
88, that was before my day.
Before your day,
That would have been Carol
before my
Dewey time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Washington took that with 3-1. So.
Wow. I would have thought in '88 that Carroll would have won that one, but I know that Jim McLaughlin was the great, really, really good coach at Washington that they won the national championship with. He had some great teams, and we ran into him a couple of times on the road. I once up there, I think. I'm thinking of him when he was at Notre Dame.
Okay.
We did see Washington one time in a tournament at LS, supposed to be at LSU, but because of the hurricane, it got moved to Rice, and they rang our bell about as loud as we've ever got. Had Annie Drews on that team as a freshman, and we were all fired up, thought we were prepared to beat a really good Washington team, and it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
We got hammered.
We're going to look for a better result on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Let's see, as we make our way through our pre-production notes here. I know, we've got the road trip to the West Coast and then Ohio State. Number 1 Nebraska coming to town after that. We're not getting too far
When's
ahead
that
of ourselves.
IU?
Yeah, that's right
battle?
after that in Cambridge, mid-October.
Okay.
And there's another one where we're going to need our fans in Indy to show out a little bit. October 16th at Cambridge Fieldhouse.
Well, the Big Ten kind of got with Indiana and suggested maybe playing this match. I mean, I think that's the way it happened. I'm sure Steve Aird was certainly the driving force behind this, playing that game at Cambridge, trying to do something special in the state of Indiana for the sport of volleyball. And so we're playing that at Cambridge. It'd be great to have a sellout crowd at Cambridge. I don't know if we can do that or not. I don't know what the timing looks like for that. But when we have played even our matches at Indiana, at the facility there, we've had great crowds.
Yeah.
Purdue has shown up. And so let's not let that sneak up on us. What's the date on that match?
October 16th.
October 16th. It will be at Cambridge. What an opportunity for the faithful in Indianapolis and Marion County and everybody in that central Indiana area to show up and be part of downtown Indy, get a nice bite to eat and cold beverage before the match and go in there and be ready to go, because Indiana has lost 1 match only this year. Got about the same record we do.
Yep.
Pretty much, okay? And they absolutely feel like they're loaded for bear this season. I mean, I watch the social media, okay? I'm paying attention. And I check their stats like I check every team in the Big Ten stats, and they're playing at a really high level right now, so that's going to be a real tough contest.
Can't wait to see that one. We're going to have to wait a few weeks to see that one, but
we got some matches to play
exciting.
before then, and we'll be ready for all of them. That's for sure. Right now it's Washington, and we had to take yesterday off.
Yep.
That was our day off for this week. So we'll have a good film session, and then practice tomorrow. Film session, practice. Come in Thursday, film session, serve and pass, and then go out and play a really good Washington team.
Anybody we haven't mentioned thus far who's really standing out for you right now? I know.
Yeah, I mean, Julia Kane's been a rock star. I mean, she's an absolute rock star. And passing numbers are great, defensive numbers are great. Can serve the ball anywhere you want to. She can put it on a dime. Ryan McAleer, same conversation. McAleer defensively has been a superstar. She's also coming off of, didn't play this spring. It's the girl didn't play.
That's
Keep
right.
in mind,
Yep.
she was out.
Had surgery.
Had surgery, did not play in the springtime. Nobody would know it. So that's a great thing about our sports medicine crew here, the doctors in Indy that we use, the people that we have here. Jess, our trainer, is awesome. Kelly, our strength coach, is terrific. We haven't missed a beat. I mean, all the things that could have gone wrong, okay, they haven't gone wrong because the staff that we have here, the athletes that we have here, it's just and our coaching staff, John Klanick, Emily Hill, Kathy Jewell, Ben Catrone, Cole Cooch, our new man, that's our grad assistant. I mean, everybody deserves a piece of that credit for getting us here. But that's the 9-1 thing's over. It's gone.
Yep.
It's over. Now, it'll help us RPI down the road. I've already talked about that. Now it's one match at a time, getting ready to play Washington. How tough can we be? How well can we play together? How much better can we get each day in practice?
And that's the focus, and we'll get you out of here, Coach, so you can go get ready for that practice.
Appreciate that.
All right. Good luck this week.
Boiler up.
Boiler up.